How we feeling? It's Monday. It is Monday. Even though Monday is half over, probably later over by the time you see this. But happy Monday. And I can see through this. You're looking good. I feel like I look decent. I feel like I look good. I feel good. I went somewhere called Throw That Ish On down at the casino. Shout out to Cliff from down north. Through a nice event. The VIP, everything was set up. But I just got one thing. I never got my hors d'oeuvres, homie. But that's okay, man. I had enough alcohol to last the whole night. Marriage. You know, I typically talk about it. Cliff is married. Typically talk about this stuff just in different intervals. Sometimes haven't talked too much about it lately. But one thing that kind of sparked me wanting to have a conversation about it was I was watching Shout Out to the Pivot with Ryan Clark and Crowder and my other guy, the running back. But three brothers it's called The Pivot. And it was started by Ryan Clark. Really, really good podcast. So they had Stephen A. Smith on talking. And he was just talking about the perils of, he was asked why he was never married before. And so he gave an explanation. And so me also, because I'm about 6 years younger than him, but still kind of in the same kind of age, kind of demographic, and me not ever being married and having kids just like he does. Just wondering, getting different guys' perspective as to why they haven't been married before. Like I know I've said before, to me, just feeling like I didn't find the right person, but also knowing that at times I was not the right person. All right. Still doesn't make it an excuse. And of course, just like with a lot of things, when we're younger, we just kind of assume, I got plenty of time for this. I'll figure it out. This will happen, that'll happen. And by the time you look up, you're 30. Then the next thing, oh, man, I got this. I still got time. You look up, you're 35, 40, 45, and then boom, you're 50 with no wife. And, you may still enjoy life. You may still enjoy going out and being single and doing things that you want to. But, it's so funny. I had an incident this weekend and somebody kind of reminded me, hey, listen, I'm married. You're not. Right. And so I kind of thought about it. And that's another reason why I wanted to bring this up, because there are different rules. And I think there should be different rules as opposed to when you are married and legally married to a person and when you're just dating. So what I want to do, I want to play a little bit of it. Once again, this is courtesy of the Pivot. And the guy asked Stephen A., you know so much about being married, because he said something about Serena Williams. If that was his wife, what he would do about her crip walking and saying something about her ex, dancing along to a song that this is her ex in the Super Bowl. So here's what Stephen A. had to say after being asked the question.
Yeah. Why have you never been married? Because I didn't know how to act. This is in the book. It's your fault. It's totally my fault. Totally my fault. It's not anybody's fault but mine. I was on the road over 200 days out of the year. I'm not going to be faithful being on the road 200 days out of the year. You can. I know. You can make that choice. No. Just because you. I didn't say you can't. I didn't say you can't. I said me. I could not be on the road as much as I'm on the road. Road all of those years and honor a relationship. I know how to treat a woman very well. My mother and my four sisters raised me very much. And I'm one of those guys that call it a blessing or a curse. 90% of my living relatives are women. Like St. Thomas, Queens, Brooklyn, Manhattan, upstate, the whole bit, Florida, Carolinas. I got relatives all over the place. Most of them are female. So I've been surrounded by females all my life. And you get to know what the do's and don'ts, what the wants and don't wants are, and all of this other stuff. That's a given. And there's a level of treatment that I'm never going to go lower than. So in that regard, I'm good. But when I was on the road for 200 days out of the year, man, and it's like, and this is the part that men don't reveal that much, but I will. When you get older, you grow up, and it's like you don't need it no more. You don't need it no more. So you don't chase.
All right. So you heard that excerpt from, once again, giving credit to the Pivot podcast. Check it out. Check out the entire interview with Stephen A. Smith. He talks about a lot of different things. But like I said, we're going to focus on the marriage component. And some of the stuff that he said really makes sense. Most of it makes sense. And of course, it's from his own lens. So, you don't want to dispute that or doubt that. And he's also a man who for years has had means. So he's had the money. He's had a lot of the popularity where if he wanted to, he probably could have easily have been married to somebody or have picked a wife, to settle down with and, have a family or his own family. But one thing that really stood out to me is that the part when he talked about as you get older, you kind of don't want it anymore. I'm kind of like 50% in, 50% out with that. And the reason why I'll tell you is because as you get older, I find, especially with living by yourself, that's why I'm telling you guys, if you're out there dating now, you better ask who these ladies live with so you don't get surprised later on. Outside of when my kids come up, I'm usually home by myself. So I don't have any live-ins. If people come over, they can come and roll. But I primarily live at least 5 days out of a week by myself. So I think about when I did live with someone, and I've only done it a couple of times in my life. But when I have lived with someone, there is a certain amount of compromise that comes along with living with someone, as you all know, because just about all of us by a certain age have lived with someone. And what I mean by someone romantically. So you start to think to yourself like, ugh, you know what? I know when I wake up in the morning where the juice is going to be. I know that when I wake up and go to the bathroom, I won't have to wait 30 minutes to get into the bathroom because somebody's still putting their makeup on, or they're still just getting out of the shower, they're curling their hair. Or when I say to them, listen, are you sure you don't need to use the bathroom? Because, I'm going to go in the bathroom. I'm going to do my guy thing. I'm going to sit on the toilet. I'm going to think for a while, process the day out, do that, then brush my teeth, then get in the shower. Or shower, then brush my teeth. Either way. But still, I'm about to take up the next 45 minutes of this bathroom time. And you know what always still happens? You still in there? You still in it. That's why I woke up extra early so that way I can do what I got to do in here as a man. So when you do live with people, you do have compromising to do. And that's, of course, a part of the game. You can't just live in a house with other people and think that it's just going to be all about you. But at a certain point, once you do live by yourself for a elongated period of time, you do start to feel like it's easier with just you. Now, yeah, like I've said to you before, even when I went through the accident last year and all that, it would have been great to have a wife or like a strong significant other or whatever. And I'm not saying that that's not still in play, because that's the one thing that happens with us is that when it seems like we're back in the clear again, or we're healthy, or we're back to being almost 100% of ourselves, we forget how down we were and when we actually needed someone. So I'd never take that for granted, and I never look at it like that day won't come. But what I do know is that it will be difficult, because as he said, as you get older, you are more set in your ways, as we all know. And what happens is that it's a little harder for you to share, especially if you feel like you're sharing and then the other person starts becoming unappreciative or things like that. And even if they don't start to seem like that, there is, to me, just a natural thing with humans where after a while, you just get tired of being in the same space with each other. Like sometimes I go over to my mom's house, right? And she has Paulina is her dog and Crazy is her cat, right? I think his name Crazy is Cece, whatever. So what'll happen is Paulina, and it's both women, both female cats. So what'll happen is that one out of nowhere will just start messing with the other one. Now they've been living at home at the same house, my mom's house, for the last, 10 plus years or close to that. So one will be all the way over there in their little bed thing. One will be all the way over there in their bed thing. But just out of nowhere, one, like the cat, will come up and just start messing with the dog. And then the next thing you know, they're going at it. Because that's what happens. That's just the nature, I think, of mammals, of people, of, when you are around somebody so much, you're just naturally just going to get tired of them, even if you still love them. So I get what he's saying about that as far as being old. Another thing that I can't really relate to, but I understand what he's trying to say is that he was busy a lot. He was on the road 200 something days out of a year. He's getting an opportunity to be around, gorgeous women all of the time. Women that want to, give him, the goodies all of the time. And so that's hard. That's hard even for a guy who's still out here trying to scrape and get some goodies. And it's not as easy for him because he doesn't have the money or the celebrity. So you get into this point where you do, because I remember when I was younger, this is what I would say. I'd say, well, you know what? You know what I mean? I don't want to cheat on shorty, so I can't see myself getting into like this kind of relationship. I can't see myself marrying her because I don't want to cheat on her. But in reality, a lot of it is just BS excuses. Could be it's steeped in the truth. But what I'm saying is that it's a lot of BS excuses. So I can't speak for anybody else, but I'll speak for me. And I will just surmise that, is marriage for everybody? No, everything isn't for everybody. But the thing is that I do believe that those who have done it, at least done it, even if you're divorced, have made a certain amount of maturity and commitment to saying, you know what, I'll at least make the effort, go forth with it, and try. Because it's so funny, when you've never been married, like I said, as someone so eloquently pointed out to me this weekend, when you haven't been married, and they didn't say it in these words, but you get what I'm saying, that I don't understand, or I wouldn't understand the importance of a marriage because I've never been in one. So therefore, since I don't know the importance of a marriage just because I've never been in one, how could I, silly me at 51, how could I even respect someone else's marriage? And I'm sitting back thinking to myself, you know what? In a way, they have a point. But because me, I'm not trying to be disrespectful to anybody. But because I've never been married, and I've never had an implied curfew, even though we all have one when we deal with people when we're together, that I, in some way, needed to understand and take some accountability for it. So, when it comes down to it, would I ever get married? Sure. But unfortunately, it would probably have to be under, I don't know, some set of circumstances. I don't know. Like we would probably have to move and live together or something like that. Because, I got a small house. I kind of don't want any women living here with me. I'm definitely not moving in with a woman. So that's not going to happen. Did that before? No. All right. So that's why even when guys do that, make sure you keep something of your own. Unless when they're moving in, your name is on the mortgage or your name is on the lease, or y'all really got stuff set in stone. Because you don't want to be that bull that's sitting outside or back on mom's couch or back in the basement, which is even worse, because somebody don't kick you out because they feel like you messed up, or, they just feel like putting you out. Yeah. When you live with a woman, all my guys that know this know, when you live with a woman, sometimes that spirit just hits them. Well, if you don't like it, you can leave, right? You can get out, right? And then sometimes they'll sit up on the phone and just start stomping back and forth, talking all loud to their girlfriends. I don't know why he's still here. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to get them cops and them people involved, but I don't know why he's still here. You know what? I'm just going to call my brother or my uncle or something such. And they say it loud enough for you to hear. Well, if you haven't been through that, I feel good for you. But as a guy who's been through that, you want to be careful what you decide to do. So even today, if you decide, hey, I want to get married, or I think I'm going to get married, just make sure you are still the king of your castle. But you tell me what you think. You think Stephen A was making up excuses? You think Stephen A just really, like a lot of guys, just wants to keep doing their thing and never really wants to commit to marriage? Like, what do you think? Do you think guys are scared of losing a lot of their wealth? That's another thing that I think is. I mean, what do you think? Because there's still a lot of great guys out here. I know a bunch of them who have decided to get married. But the question is, if you haven't been, do you want to get married? Do I want to get married? I don't know. I don't know. Because I've seen a lot. And like I tell some of the homies, been through a lot and seen y'all and seeing what y'all have going through. But once again, there's still no excuse. If you want to do it, go buy the ring. Just go do it. And while you're doing that, make sure that you live life. Don't let life live you.